This is not a commercial for The Way I Heard It with Mike Rowe, the award-winning podcast now entering its 10th year and available wherever podcasts are listened to. No, this is a commercial for Mike Rowe's foundation, which has just set aside $10 million to help train the next generation of skilled workers. That money is available right now at microworks.org. It's waiting for anyone who wants to learn a skill that doesn't require a 4-year degree. Electricians, plumbers, linemen, welders, shipbuilders, HVAC techs. America is desperate for men and women with skills they don't teach in universities. And the MicroWorks Foundation is committed to helping train America's workforce for hundreds of thousands of AI-proof six-figure jobs just waiting to be filled. Apply today for a work ethic scholarship at microworks.org or support our efforts with a donation of any size. We're closing America's skills gap one job at a time, and we could use your help at microworks.org, MIKEROWE works.org.
Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to build million-dollar businesses without sacrificing their health, relationships, or happiness, who understand that in order to build their empire, they need a solid foundation, and that the more they are thriving, the more their business is thriving too. This show brings you the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist turned mindset and high-performance coach for entrepreneurs, and I help you get wired for success. Hey everyone, and welcome back. This episode is brought to you by L-Nutra, nutrition technology for longevity. Are you looking for a smarter, science-backed way to support muscle health and longevity? Meet L-Protein from L-Nutra, the only plant-based protein powder of its kind, uniquely designed to enhance muscle growth and slow down the aging process. Unlike typical whey proteins, which activate pro-aging pathways, L-Protein supports your body with 25 grams of complete plant-based protein designed to keep IGF-1 low for optimal aging. With L-Nutra's pioneering approach to nutrition technology, this isn't just protein. It's nutrition for longevity, perfect for post-workout recovery, a nutrient-packed breakfast, or an afternoon snack. Personally, I love the chocolate-flavored protein shake as a delicious and super quick post-workout breakfast. As someone who would like to gain some muscle mass, it's important to me to get enough high-quality protein, and this is a great option. So if you're serious about fueling your body for both performance and long-term health, L-Protein might be just what you were looking for. Plus, it's packed with essential vitamins and minerals, all sourced from real fruits, veggies, and mushrooms, ensuring you're nourished in the most natural way possible. Can't go wrong with that, right? So if you'd like to check it out, go to prolonlife.com/wired. That's prolonlife.com/wired to get your L-Protein today. I'll also link it in the show notes. This episode is also brought to you by Mendy, who make brain training easy with their unique Mendy device. We often talk about physical fitness, but what about the fitness of our brains? How do you get wired for success? Well, that's where a tool like neurofeedback can be super helpful. Imagine being able to see your brain's activity and health improve in real time. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, I know, but with the Mendy device, it's becoming a reality. It uses cutting-edge technology to help you exercise one of your most important muscles, your brain. So how does it work? It uses a technology called functional near-infrared spectroscopy to measure blood flow in your prefrontal cortex. That's the area of the brain that is key to functions like focus, decision-making, and emotion regulation. When you wear the Mendy headband, it captures the blood flow dynamics in this region of your brain, mirroring the ongoing brain activity. I've been using Mendy for a while now, and one thing that stands out to me is how much your current state and mood affects your results. It's kind of obvious when you think about it, but it's also really eye-opening to see how different states affect your brain's performance in real time. What's so compelling about Mendy is that it's backed by experts in the field of neuroscience, and I just love that it offers a way to take proactive steps toward better brain health. With its help, you can train your brain much like you might train your body. So when you lift weights, for example, you see your muscles grow, so you know your training is effective. You don't usually get that kind of visual feedback when you train your brain, right? It's a black box and you don't really know if what you're doing is making a difference or not. And that's where Mandy comes in, because it makes the exercise tangible by turning your neural activity into something that you can visualize and interact with so that you can actually see your progress. The more you train, the stronger those neural pathways become, leading to lasting improvements in mental resilience and cognitive performance. Thinking about brain health in this way really shifts our perspective on what it means to stay fit. It's not just about running or lifting weights. It's also about keeping our minds sharp and responsive. So if you're curious about how you can start this kind of training, Mandy is a great option that brings sophisticated technology into an accessible format. To learn more and to get your own Mandy, head over to mandy.io. If you want to get wired for success, it's crucial to remember that our brains are at the core of everything we do. So again, if you would like to experience neurofeedback for yourself, head over to mandy.io. Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Wired for Success podcast, where we talk about all things science, self-development, and entrepreneurship that help you get to that next level of success in your life and business. And my guest today is Derek Smith, a professional event host and master of ceremonies, known for his contagious energy and positive creativity. His ability to engage audiences with professionalism, humor, and rapid fire delivery have made him an inspiring mentor to entrepreneurs worldwide. He proudly supports aspiring speakers and their partners at conferences, summits, festivals, podcasts, and thousands of other event types. So welcome, Derek, and thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you very much. Plus also, thank you for that introduction. I sound amazing. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You do sound amazing. So let's find out more. Derek, I don't know if you knew this. Probably you didn't know this about me, but prior to becoming a podcast host, public speaking was actually one of my biggest fears. And if I'm not mistaken, that's actually one of the most common fears worldwide. And so I wonder, what is it about being on stage that you enjoy most, and why the heck do you enjoy it?
I know, absolutely. And you're right. It tends to be a very fearful activity for a lot of people. I almost would like to say that I've created an entire world around that. For me, I absolutely love being on stage in front of people because I can feel that energy. And I love feeling people just sort of giving me that gaze. And for some reason, I don't know if there's something in my brain that's different than other people, but I don't have that self-consciousness of worrying about, oh, do I look good? Do I not look good? How am I coming off? Because I have this strong belief that more often than not, people aren't in attendance at any particular event to see me specifically. So it's not like I have to, I don't have to wow them. Plus also more than a large majority of people in that room are probably thinking about, oh, what am I having for lunch? Or do I have to pick up my dry cleaning and stuff like that? So often I have a switch in my brain that just goes out there and gives them exactly what I'm there for. And I try not to overextend myself too much.
Gotcha. Now, do you get nervous at all before a big event? And if so, what do you do to calm your nerves? Do you have a special pre-event routine?
It's a great question, actually. And I'm happy you asked that because I would say that nervousness is just excitement without breathing. So often, you know what I mean? It's like some people can confuse that feeling and make them think that they're nervous, which again, it's a thing. It's not a thing. But if you can shift that and turn that into excitement, take some deep breaths. As we know, you've heard that. It's not like I'm telling you something new, but if you can really sort of breathe through that, you can turn that nervousness into the feeling of excitement. Just be like, oh, I'm actually super excited to be here. And people can see that in your face when you step up on stage, that you're actually excited. You're pleased to be here rather than feeling the need to be sweating through stuff. And, full disclosure, Claudia, even for a guy like me, I'll wear a suit jacket when I'm on stage and, I'll have to get it dry cleaned afterwards because excitement also leads to sweating as well. So, you still feel the heat, you feel that energy from people, and it does have a physiological response to the body. And so just breathe it out as best as you can and do not underestimate the power of taking those deep breaths before you step up on stage.
Yeah, shifting that focus on the excitement rather than the fear is definitely super, super important. But do you have any other tips to help people deal with stage fright when what do you do when this is just not enough?
Well, it's almost my entire ethos, which I mean, it's not like I'm the one that invented this, but it's the idea of, just like any good thing in life, you got to go to the gym, you got to practice. So there is an element where being prepared for something doesn't require you to completely knock yourself out. Some people really build themselves up and go, oh, I got a big talk coming up in July. And so they got, maybe a 6-month runway and they're thinking about this event they got to do. They're thinking about this event. But if they were to just simply practice on a regular basis, whether that is on phone calls or virtual events or podcast interviews, just being capable of practicing your speaking. So that way, by the time your big event rolls around, you're in the groove and you know that for all intents and purposes, this is just shining through. It's just coming through you in some regard. So just be ready for it and don't build up these particular events as the big one. I got to be so ready for it. It's like you should be ready all the time for it because you have been working it out and practicing your way to the top.
So true. There's just no substitution for practice.
It really goes a long way. Plus also, when people can kind of shift their thinking about practice, you can make it fun because, once you sort of figure out, maybe your core baseline topic that you like to speak about, then you can start talking about other things and get into understanding how it is you just express yourself in general. Are you the type of person who uses hand gestures? I'm half French Canadian because of my mother's side. So I use my hands a lot, It's like, so what is it that makes you you, and how do you speak about not only the topic that you're very familiar with, but also other topics? So practicing can be a lot of fun. It doesn't need to be a pain or anything like that.
Yeah, you have to find your own style, probably.
For sure.
And I mean, there are quite a few things, as you said before, like shifting the focus or breathing, focus on breathing, that you can do in the moment. But it's probably also a good idea for someone who wants to do more public speaking to work on their confidence in general. So can you share any exercises that help your clients become more confident and comfortable over time?
Well, absolutely. I mean, again, we already know, we've talked about it. Practice is a really important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
But then also, one of the things that people tend to maybe overlook is understanding what their persona is. Like, who are they when they step up on stage and communicate their message? So some people will think, well, I'm a mother of 3 and I'm a blah, blah, blah. I'm whatever it is, Well, that's who you might be on a Saturday night when you go out to dinner with me. But when you're standing on stage, you can be anyone you want. So being able to take 15, 20 minutes beforehand and ask yourself some questions and just say, who am I? Who do I represent? Why am I being asked to be here today? So what is it this audience is expecting of me while I step up on stage? Knowing your persona is also a way to just boost your own confidence so you can step up and fill those shoes under the guise of that persona. And then that way you can be, in some regard, anyone you want to be.
This is so fascinating because sometimes people can get lost in this persona. Like, how different would you say is your stage persona from the real you?
I'm a bit of an anomaly, I must admit, because often people will say to me after I step off stage, hey, Derek, it's okay. You don't need to be on anymore. And it always ticks me off because I'm thinking like, no, actually, this is just me. This is how I am. This is how I communicate. I'm very energetic. But the truth of the matter is, I think a lot of people would assume I'm quite extroverted in my social my social skills. Instead, I mean, as soon as an event is done, I go lock myself into the hotel room or back at my house or whatever, and I just need to power down. That doesn't necessarily answer your question. What I guess I'm saying is, for me, my persona and my real self are very much aligned, and they are very similar. But the reality is, years ago, someone asked me, Derek, what do you love to do? And this is what I answered. I said, I love being on stage, being able to express myself clearly and help other people do the same thing. So for me, I really aligned my career with what I do best and what's in my genius zone. So in some regard, I am what you see and what I do. So for me, I never have to over exaggerate. I never have to be anyone but myself.
And that's the best thing that you can do. I mean, if you find the perfect fit where you don't have to pretend to be someone else, then you know that you have found your perfect niche.
And actually, and if I might say, Claudia, even just to go back to your confidence question earlier, it's like I always encourage my clients, more than anything, tell the truth. If you tell the truth, it's like you don't get caught up behind your words. You don't feel like, oh, I overextended on that or I said too much here. It's just like stick with truth, and that will make all the words come out a lot easier for you. Plus, also, it will build you that confidence, because as long as you just stick to the facts, you should be able to express yourself pretty clearly.
Yeah, and you won't feel like a fraud because you don't pretend to be someone you're not.
And this is what a lot of people get hung up with. I know some of my clients that they're top-notch people in different industries. They're CEOs, they're founders, some of them, of course, entrepreneurs, like the people that we like to work with on a regular basis. These people, they have these virtual personas that are larger than life. And so they almost would rather hide behind their computer and just say, actually, I'm not ready to be seen. I don't want to be seen because I don't think I can match what people think I am. And that's definitely one of the biggest flaws in a lot of these higher ups who've had great success behind the computer. And when it's time to get out there, they don't even know how to be. They don't know how to express themselves without disappointing the people that think that they are who their avatar says they are.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. Yeah. But again, I'll just say this, a little bit of truth, only speaking facts, know your persona, and then of course do some practice. It'll pay off, in spades for you.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Now let's talk about engineering a great experience. So what does it take to create an engaging and fun event?
Great. Especially as an individual speaker. Now, everybody has different roles. For me, I'm an MC, I'm an event host. So for me, I'm framing any given event. But I do a lot of work with the speakers themselves. So if you are in the role of a speaker and your role is, let's say you're doing an hour talk, you're doing a 45-minute talk, whatever it is. One of the best ways to ensure that your audience is staying and sticking with you is pretty obvious, I'd like to think, but it's engagement. So making sure you have questions, making sure you are pointing to people, asking questions, or getting your audience to raise their hands based on some question that you're asking. So engaging with the audience is going to make that event memorable, but also keep these people alive and keep them awake, because otherwise it's very simple to just simply drift off and just start looking at your phone a little bit. So making sure you engage with people, that's one of and you can remember this too, at most of the events you've been to, engagement is what makes us remember the events we attend.
Yeah, true. And I don't know about you, but I always like to prepare well for my podcast interviews. But I definitely feel that the best conversations are the ones that in general follow a plan, but are still flexible enough to go a little off course, right?
Yes.
So in essence, it's a mix of planning and flexibility. How do you think about this? And if you had to give a percentage for the perfect event, how much of it would be scripted and how much of it would be just free flow?
I love that question. That's great. So, I would say for me, I'll give you a percentage just to play along with the question. I think more than anything, I'm less than 50% in terms of structure. For me, I'm very improvisational. I mean, in the regard of, I'm sure you've heard of this before, yes, and being able to provide an affirmation or like the positive response and then just adding to it. Often people are looking for authenticity when they see people speaking. And one of those things is that if you're too scripted and you're too structured, we can see that. We're just like, you think this is a play, like you think this is some kind of monologue, right? And nobody likes that. Nobody attends, especially a conference or a festival or any of these events that we find ourselves at, to listen to someone just blurt out information. Rather, they want you to engage with them. If somebody, drops something in the audience and it makes a loud noise, that person on stage who could improvisationally just go, hey, and remark about it, like they couldn't have scripted that. And therefore that authenticity is something that people really love, and they make it go, wow, you're a really good speaker. So for me, I'd say less than 50%. I might even say less than 30%. But for me, one of the things that I do as an event host is I got my notes written on cards. So the most important information is on my card. And then other than that, I'm just playing with the environment that's in there. Plus I'm reading the room, understanding where we're at. If it's 8 a.m, most likely I'm not going to blast them with full Derek. I might wait until around noon hour for that, So, it's just knowing sort of what that audience is hoping for or expecting from you.
Right. Now, personally, I'm a sucker for planning, and it also helps with time management. And that's something that's also quite difficult for a lot of people, right? So what are your best time management tips?
I love that. So time management, very important. It's one of my 7 principles. If I were to jump into them, being able to express, hey, over the next 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you my life story, whatever it might be. But being able to express what time the audience can expect and then delivering on that expectation through that framework of time is super valuable for great speakers. And you see them doing this all the time. For me, even again, back to being an event host, I'll say, guys, what an exciting hour we have ahead. I can't wait to get into it. So the audience is aware that someone's keeping an eye on time, because nothing is worse. And we see this a lot in the modern day with virtual events. You jump into a room and you get the sense that, we're just waiting for people to arrive here, and they're, playing around for a while. And you're just like, is anyone keeping an eye on time? Because I got a meeting in 45 minutes and this doesn't seem to be too organized. So the idea is making sure you either express time for the length of the event or even just the length of what you're about to say. So again, over the next 5 minutes, I look forward to telling you about the first time I fell off my bicycle. And then you can go into it. And then when you deliver on that, people really can feel that they're in good hands. And that's what the audience really wants. They want to know that the person on stage or hosting the event is in control. And it really goes a long way.
Yeah, I think setting expectations is so important. And as you might have noticed before we started recording, I also did this with you. Like I always do this with my podcast guests as well. So we're all on the same page. Everyone knows what to expect. No one has open questions. Yeah. And I think that's providing a structure that's really important.
Well, and I'm not here to flatter you here, Claudia, but I feel like I'm in good hands because of that. I felt like, you set the stage for all of us, or for me. So that way it's just like, I know where we're going with this conversation, and it feels really good. And it feels as though, we're both on the same page, and, there's going to be no major surprises, or we're not going to run for 3 hours, because nothing is more annoying than people who are not cognizant of time. And a lot of the speakers that I work with them and we time everything. So that way, regardless of whether they go overtime or they go under time, it's more so that way they understand, by the way, what you just spoke about, that was 3 minutes. You know what I mean? That way you sense what 3 minutes feels like, and sensing the time is another really powerful skill that you can learn.
Yeah, something to practice.
For sure.
Now, you have been a speaker for a long time. What have you learned about effective communication? So what does it take to be a good speaker and communicator, except for setting expectations?
Yeah. Well, all of the things we've said up until this point, but I think one of the ones that makes an effective speaker, and for me, I never found or thought I would find myself in this position. Despite my youthful good looks, I was just going to say, it's been about over 15 years now since I was on a video shoot. I was behind the camera. I was a guy with a clipboard, and the talent who was supposed to be on camera didn't show up that day. So they put me in front of the camera. They said, Derek, can you just read these lines? I was like, okay, I had no idea what I was doing. But that sort of just spawned everything outside of what I've been doing. So my background's in public relations and communications, and I've done my fair share of media interviews. But the real trick, or the real thing that people need to be aware of, is that determination to finish a thought with a period goes a long way. You've done this your entire life. Every time you go out to dinner with a friend or a family member, you are having a conversation. I doubt you've ever struggled to finish your thought. And yet a lot of people, once they get up on stage, they lose their train of thought. It's like, just almost consider it like having a conversation you're having dinner with, like, again, a friend or a family member. So be determined to finish a thought. And I have no doubt in my mind, you will achieve it.
Good point. Now, you've already touched on this, but what does it take to really connect with your audience? So what are your best tips for doing that?
I was going to say I could give you 100, but I'll just give you 2, just so that way we're not here all day. Number one, and it seems to be one of the most difficult things that people tend to struggle with, and this could be virtually or this could be on live stages, but it's eye contact. And this goes even in a lot of people when you're even having dinner with people. Sometimes you can see they're not capable of maintaining that eye contact, but it is crucial to succeed when you're speaking. So if you're at a live event, looking across the room, making sure you're making eye contact with people. Yeah, it can be a little uncomfortable because you're looking into their soul. They're looking right back at you. You look through them. It makes a big difference. Plus, also in a virtual setting like this, being able to maintain eye contact with the audience, because I'm looking at you right now, and it really makes a difference, because you can see some people, they might have their computer set up over here, but they're kind of talking this way. And it's very jarring when someone continues to have a conversation, they don't look at you. So that's number one, is eye contact. And the last I'll say about this, and this is a trick that anybody who's listening right now can also do for themselves. This is day to day. Consider what it is your dominant eye. For me, my dominant eye is my right eye. The way I figure that out is by going like this and seeing which eye has more strength. So for me, it's the right eye. So next time you're having or sitting across from somebody, focus on leveraging your dominant eye and look at the same eye that you're speaking of. So for me, I only look at a person's right eye. I never look at their left eye. Now, the reason why is it crosses over their face, and it looks as though I'm really looking at their entire face that much more. Plus, it allows me to simply be able to go, where do I look? I look right at your right eye. You don't see me looking this way to figure out which eye I'm going for. I know where to look. And this goes when you're scanning an audience. And of course, it goes for any interpersonal communication that you have with anybody. And the second one for you is, as we spoke earlier, engagement, having questions ready. Have your own Q&A ready in your mind. Engaging with an audience by asking questions is not only a great way to make sure people are still awake and alive, but it also makes them buy in. So a great way to engage an audience, I'll give you an example, is, raise your hand if you like ice cream. It gets everybody up. It's a yes question. Then you can also hit them with another yes question. And I mean, yes being the answer. How many people here like chocolate ice cream? Majority of the hands stay up. And then if you really want to have impact, finish it off with a no answer. How many people here love ketchup on their ice cream? And then you'll see a large majority, I assume, drop their hands. But there's suddenly a visual buy-in by everyone in that audience. And now they're all engaging with you. And they've engaged with your little goofy survey that you've just done. So super powerful and super valuable to engage and then maintain that eye contact.
Love it. Have you ever had an event where you simply didn't connect with the audience, though, no matter what you tried?
Yeah, I definitely. I remember being in school years ago, and they said there's only 2 rules that they wanted us to follow, specifically in the public speaking class. Number 1, don't chew gum. And number 2, don't try to memorize everything you're going to say. And of course, that next week, I did the exact 2 things they said don't do. And it tripped me up. Of course, I was chewing. I had to stop, walk away, put the gum away, came back. But I was ready because I had memorized everything. And sure enough, 30 seconds in, I completely forgot everything. So for me, those would be the ones that come to mind in my mind. But, more often than not, even in this day where I've been doing this for over 15 years, even I make mistakes from time to time. I can think back to even just a few years back being in a open mic environment where there was people coming up, everybody was speaking, everybody was doing their little bits for 2 or 3 minutes. And I remember stepping off stage after introducing the speaker, and I stepped up stage and someone came up to me and started talking to me about something. This was whispering. And I wasn't listening to what the person on stage was talking about. And to my absolute horror, by the time I came back up on stage, I was like, give it up for Jason, everyone. All right. And whatever that Jason person had just said was absolutely devastating to the audience. They disliked it immensely. And I was giving them props like, wow, great work, Jason. That was amazing. And the point was, of course, I wasn't listening. And so even I was making mistakes. And just to loop this around, it's just that be comfortable making mistakes, because you're going to probably slip up from time to time, but be okay to not only make the mistake, but be able to play off this. And as you can appreciate, I played off it in a way that worked out in the end. But, just be comfortable. Sometimes, you will slip up, and just be okay with that.
Yeah, here's another maybe related question to that. So it's about reading the room. Do you think that's a learnable skill, or is it a given talent?
No, I think, and all the stuff we speak of, I believe, are learned skills. You can't always know how it works. To be able to read a room, it's more than anything, I believe, it's being able to read a room and also not take it personally. You can come in and you can see that 80% of the people in this room right now are on their phones. Don't take that personally. Just perform what it is you intended to come in. And those who are interested will be attracted to you. And I'll also say this, don't feel the need to attract 100% of the people. It's never going to work. Instead, make sure that you know who your audience is. That does not mean know who your entire audience is, meaning know everybody in that room. No, come in and go, today I want to talk to female teachers who teach grade 3. If that's who your audience is, then that's who you're going to speak to. That's who is going to be attracted to your message. And everybody else, be comfortable repelling them. So that's what we mean by reading a room, is to understand who your people are. And just to wrap that up, that's also why engaging with the audience with, let's say, the questions, you can find out, there's one of my teachers. There's one of my teachers. There's one of my teachers. You can see them. And now you can continue the conversation for a lot of those people as you continue onward.
Right. Now, I feel that being an empath definitely helps you to do that, but not everyone is an empath. So if people wanted to work on that skill specifically, do you have an exercise or something that you would recommend?
Well, it's interesting. I'm naturally an empath, so it comes naturally for me.
Yeah,
but you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't. It's not a thing. But I think actually it kind of goes back to what I just said, which is that at the very least, know your audience. And I say that again, not know the audience that's at this event. Know the audience this message you're saying is for. And so ideally, you can connect with those people just through your message alone. But in terms of an exercise on how to become more empathetic, I suspect there is a series of books you could probably read to just figure out how to open up your heart at some point. But yeah, no specific skill outside of just knowing your audience, I think, is what I would recommend for people.
That's good to know for all those people who are struggling with that.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
And I would assume that you're human, just like everyone else. So you do have good days and you do have bad days. So what do you do on a bad day when you still have to perform? How do you access the right energy?
That's actually, I appreciate that question, because that's something that no one's ever asked me before. And and I'm digging deep here to give you something good, because I wonder if there is a switch inside of me. Like right now, I'm acutely aware that you're paying attention to what I'm saying. Ideally, some of the people who are listening are paying attention to what I'm saying. So I'm here just flicking that switch and giving all the energy that I can. I think I said it earlier. It's like it's shining through me, this vessel that is Derek. And this is something that I think comes with a great deal of practice. So for me, I am human, but I think the moment the camera turns on or the moment the microphone turns on, I just show up as the person that I was brought in to do. Like I'm giving my gifts 100%. So I guess maybe I'm built a bit differently, but I'm always giving my best when I'm doing this. But let's be very clear, Claudia, maybe the moment this interview ends and I shut down the computer and I step away, who knows? Maybe I'll go lounge on the couch and just, but that's probably not me. But no, I think it's just a matter of knowing that when the time comes, you step up and you do your best not to showcase what's going on in your day-to-day. Plus, being able to speak to a large group of people gives you an opportunity to be only in this zone. I'm not thinking about picking up my kids that I don't have, but I'm not thinking about picking up my dry cleaning or doing whatever right now. I'm just thinking about this conversation. So it is an opportunity when it comes to public speaking to be present and just be here doing the thing that I'm here to do. So I don't know if that's a cop-out answer, but yes, I'm human, but above? No.
Are you
superhuman? Or am I just an avatar behind the computer screen? Yes.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence can do so much.
Oh my gosh, we've gotten so good, haven't we? Yeah, exactly.
Now, along those lines, as a busy professional, what are the high performance habits that help you stay happy, healthy, productive, and that high energy? Like, where does it come from?
Well, I think, and I think this is not just so much even just professionalism or entrepreneurship. I think we all know personally, I mean, there's no day that starts without exercise. And so for me, if you don't sweat it out, and this is especially somebody as energetic as I am, I got to burn off some of that energy even before my day starts, because otherwise I will literally blast through this camera. So I got to burn off some of that stuff. And I think that's also the only way in which I can comfortably accept that I'm doing the best I can. And I mean that by saying, as long as I know I exercised in the morning, anything else that I'm faced with throughout the course of the day, within reason, is manageable, because I've done the best I can to start my day. And it's not that I'm some kind of, health advocate or personal trainer or anything like that. I'm still pretty, basic level, but I do know the value of being able to sweat in the mornings to get my day started. And that keeps the energy up. That also ensures that I am of sound mind and sober mind as best as I can when I'm working with the people that I'm working with.
Yeah, I love it. I love sports in the morning. I need the exercise as well. It's the best.
And I should also say, Claudia, I make it sound like I'm above ultra, I'm superhuman. This wasn't always the case. I'm in my 40s now. I wasn't always aware that this was the key to success, but I figured it out after time. It was just like, oh wow, I realize I'm really on point. I'm in my A+ state when I am exercised up and ready to go for my day. So I figured that out over time. So hopefully people who are a little bit younger and haven't picked up that habit, it's like, hey, that's the key to success for sure. Mm-hmm.
You need exercise. There is just no way around it.
That's exactly, no way around it. So start liking it. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Start enjoying it. Get in there. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners today?
No, you know what? I think for anyone out there that is still a little bit struggling or has a bit of a block when it comes to speaking, and we call it public speaking. When I say the term speaking, I mean, like, again, podcast interviews, live events, business meetings, sales meetings, staff meetings, any type of opportunity where you're expected to talk about your business or talk about your passion. It's really something you should consider overcoming, because in this modern business age, it is imperative for you to be able to speak about what it is you're doing. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to know about it. We're also not going to be able to feel how passionate you are about what you're doing. And those are the types of people that make success really work for them, is the people who are able to express themselves effectively. And so I would just only encourage those who are listening and thinking to themselves, do I need to do public speaking? Should I, shouldn't I? Yeah, it's good for my business for you to do it. But really, those top high octane entrepreneurs that I know are very good at speaking. And you should really consider at least giving it a try to see if it's something that you may one day want to pursue even further.
Good point. So where can those listeners who might want to work on that, where can they find you or connect with you?
I keep it pretty easily. You see it written down on the screen right now, MrDerekSmith.com. You can check out my website, MrDerekSmith.com. Of course, you don't ever have to call me Mr. anything. It's just because it's very difficult to get a URL with the last name Smith. They've all been taken at this point. So just check it out there. You can do one of many things. I have an online course that you are more than welcome to reach out to me, and I will give you a free copy of that course. So just go onto the website, book a quick call, and I'll be glad to issue you that course. It'll just be an opportunity for you to just dive in and figure out whether or not building your persona, knowing your message, and figuring out different ways for you to start engaging with your specific audience. That course would definitely be able to help you. Plus, also, we got a lot of other fun freebies that you can find on the website. So again, MrDerekSmith.com.
Perfect. Derek, thank you so much for talking today and for sharing all those tips and insights with us. It's been great having you on this show.
It's a pleasure, Claudia. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate that.
Sure. Take care and talk soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show or share it with a friend. That way you can support the show and help me reach and support other entrepreneurs like yourself as well. If you would like my help to figure out how you can go from overwhelmed and overworked hustler to empowered and confident leader, check out my website at www.wiredforsuccess.solutions and book a free 20-minute strategy session with me. Can't wait to help you get wired for success. Until next time, take care. Bye.